What is up, everybody? Nursky here, bringing you guys some more amazing StarCraft 2 action here on my Twitch.tv and or YouTube channel, depending on where you are turning into this broadcast. Turning in. I don't know why you'd be turning it in, but tuning into my broadcast. So anyways, guys, our opponents here for this matchup are going to be first off spawning as he gives it away. Thanks a bunch, but no. Honestly, one of my favorite Terran players spawning as our blue Terran from Team Evil Geniuses is going to be EGDemuslim. His opponent spawning down to the south as our red Protoss is going to be Millenium. Now, Millenium I don't really know a whole lot about. I did bother to go on to SCII ranks, try and look up some information on him. Didn't get a whole lot of information there, so I don't know a whole lot about him. I did watch maybe the first 4 minutes of this replay before I casted it, or so, just to get an idea of. And now this is actually interesting and worth noting before I go back into what I was talking about with Millenium. The Muslim's going to be actually putting this barracks quite a ways back here in his main base, rather than dropping it more towards the front of his main or over towards this choke over here towards his natural expansion. Now, the thought process I would think behind this here is that it is going to make our Protoss player of Millenium, as he gets into Demuslim's base, a little bit nervous, because he's not going to know where that barracks is at Demuslim. That is one of the crucial things when you do send in your initial scouting probe. You do want to be looking for is where has a Terran done a standard play? Are they going to be proxying? Or actually see him immediately checking around the base of the Muslim a little bit. Really wants to know where that barracks is at. You even see him queuing up other movement positions here to look around on the map. Going to immediately turn around now because he really wants to know what's going on over here in the Muslim's base. Probably going to go check out the gas and everything else since he did not see that here. So there you go. We'll get up there. Should be able to get an idea. And now we'll actually, I believe, scout that barracks. Yes, he does. Did not, however, see the tech lab going down that barracks. So Demuslim will be getting a very fast tech lab on this first barracks. This could be a Reaper expand type of play. We will know shortly. Would not expect him to go for any kind of a pressure with this play, but interesting enough, going to be building a very fast Marauder here and getting a very fast concussive shell. So one Rax play here does only have 2 harvesters now. Gas has taken one of them off, so it's going a little bit more mineral heavy. You do see him starting to bank some minerals here, and now is going to be trying to get this probe. We'll take a look at what Millenium is doing in just a minute, as we do see this probe probably about to get cleaned up. We'll see that Marauder coming out for Demuslim, and now Demuslim will clean up this probe. Yes, does manage to pick it off. So this is probably going to be interesting for Millenium, because now he's actually seen Demuslim go ahead and go for a very fast Marauder, but behind this we actually see Demuslim is just going to be expanding here, has now taken his natural expansion, be getting a bunker down, and as we look towards Millennium's base, we actually have now a very fast Twilight Council as the reaction here from Millenium. Now, I do not know if he did see the expansion go down in Demuslim's base, and the answer is actually going to be no. So he may think, seeing that Marauder very early on by Demuslim, that Demuslim might be doing a very strong one-base play of some kind, but that's actually not going to be the case here. So we see Demuslim, though, throwing up 2 more barracks. That'll take him up to 3 barracks. This will have a decent amount of production here behind this expansion that he is putting up. And now we have 2 more gateways going down here for Millenium. That Twilight Council has finished up, and he's going to be actually going for a blink play here off of one base. Now, blink plays can be very strong against Terran players, especially before they get stim. Really allows Stalkers to be so effective against Marines, and actually really increases their effectiveness quite a bit against Marauders as well, because one of the big things that really helps Marauders against, and now we do see that he will poke up and should have seen as a 4 pylon is going down this expansion. Yes, he has. One big thing that those blink stalkers will give a Protoss player against something like Marauders with concussive shells, especially before they actually do get stim, as we do see stim starting for Demuslim, is that you can actually micro against them quite a bit more than you normally would be able to. Of course, Marauder is still very good against Stalkers, but it makes the Stalkers quite a bit more effective against the Marauder, and it really allows you to do some micro against it, especially, like I said before, Stim does finish up. Stim not going to be finished up for this, so we do have a second bunker going down. Now, Millenium is going to try and push over here into EGDemuslim's base. See EGDemuslim immediately pulling a couple of SCVs here to repair this forward bunker. Now, Millenium really doesn't have a lot of sentries, just right now has one sentry, is building up a decent amount of energy, up to nearly 125 energy, so he will have a few force fields to throw down, but he's going to have to get all of EGDemuslim's SCVs off this bunker if he wants to actually take it out, and actually goes for this other bunker. Very good play here by Millenium, and then manages to actually use the sentry to just wall off this area and will block EGDemuslim from being able to actually mine from this base. Even going to be forcing EGDemuslim to lift this command center and relocate it here. SCVs need to now get on this other bunker to repair it, but most of the SCVs not repairing. A little bit of a miscontrol there by EGDemuslim, and that might allow Millenium to actually focus fire down this bunker, and yes, it will. We now see EGDemuslim pulling back to this last remaining bunker, but Millenium has used his blink play brilliantly, and we see EGDemuslim pulling a ton of SCVs off of his line. Now, this is not the type of situation you want to be into if you were EGDemuslim, and Millenium just catching right now. EGDemuslim just so off balance here, taking out so many units here. EGDemuslim doing his best though to try and clean these Stalkers up. We do see not at quite as much blink micro here out of Millenium. Only actually gets 2 Stalkers out of the base there before EGDemuslim cleans everything up. So EGDemuslim will manage to hold here. We see him immediately putting his command center back down, and behind this going to be waiting to see what Millenium is going to do. No additional tech going down. Looks like he may be starting to save up some minerals, so could be going for a Nexus sometime soon. EGDemuslim wisely scouting over here in Millenium's base, but now we have another warp in over here at the front of Stalkers, going to try and push the issue again, but Millenium actually needs to be a little bit careful. Stim is finished with all of these bio units. They can do so much damage to Stalkers. Millenium's going to try and blink against these, but right there we see the Stalkers actually going to get the better of these Marauders and takes them all out, and Millenium's just going to reinforce this, still trying to pressure the front here of EGDemuslim's base. EGDemuslim desperately wants to get this bunker down to make himself a little bit safer, but EGDemuslim does at least manage to get the cancel off. This mule, though, probably going to get target fired down. No, actually goes for the SCP first, maybe a little bit of a misclick, and now EGDemuslim will be forced to back up this command center once again. Needs to get it back quickly, or he could end up losing it. Economy-wise, we see EGDemuslim quite a bit behind, now stemming forward with a lot of his bio units, and Millenium's just going to blink away here. So Millenium doing just a ton of damage to EGDemuslim as that last scouting SCV gets picked off here as he does push this, and behind this Millenium is going to be actually expanding here, so he will be trying to take this into an advantage for himself and turn this game around. Already way ahead in worker count, not so much in supply though, so he needs to be a little bit careful here. This Marine Marauder force is not as big as EGDemuslim would probably like it to be, but it is not all that shabby, and behind this we do see EGDemuslim starting a factory. Looks like EGDemuslim also be getting a second refinery. Probably wants to start moving up to medevacs. A lot of these units hurt very badly, and Millenium right now just abusing the fact that he actually has the shield recharge on all of these Stalkers to keep just moving forward, picking off a couple of units and then backing up, which is just brilliant play here by Millenium, just backing EGDemuslim back up into his base. This has been a great play, really smart positioning with the few force fields he had, and now just pokes in once again, fires at a couple of Marines, blinks right back out. He can just do this over and over again right now to EGDemuslim, and there's not really a whole lot EGDemuslim can do about it prior to getting up a couple of medevacs, because he really doesn't want to stim right now, because so many of these units are already in the yellows and the oranges and even the reds, and it would be a little bit dangerous here for EGDemuslim just to try and stim and chase down these Marauders without having some medevacs up already. So at least until EGDemuslim can get out a couple of medevacs, and we see now the starport being swapped over here to this reactor, and 2 medevacs immediately on the way. He's going to have a hard time, needs to be very careful about using this stim, but as this is all going on, now this expansion has finished up for Millenium, has saturated it now, is right now at 32 workers, it's just the 24 of EGDemuslim, and this is definitely not where EGDemuslim wants to be in this game, leaving his orbital command inside of his base here. and is even looking like he's probably saving some scans just in case Millenium were to go with a DT play, which is smart by EGDemuslim from the point of view that he knows Millenium has that Twilight Council. Ooh, Millenium needs to be a little bit careful there, getting a little overly aggressive with the Stalkers. But now that those medevacs are out, that is exactly what EGDemuslim was waiting for. He can heal up his units now, and it's going to be going after these Stalkers, trying to push them back. Now can take out this forward pylon by Millenium. Do not think he has no, actually does have another one over here near EGDemuslim's base, and it looks like EGDemuslim going to try and push against Millenium here. We do see charge on the way for Millenium. Behind this has been warping in a lot of zealots and sentries over here at his natural expansion. If he can get that zealot leg speed finished up here before EGDemuslim pushes in, I'm not really sure EGDemuslim would actually be able to take this army out. That zealot leg speed just about to finish, but EGDemuslim pushes in just before it's done, doing a lot of damage to all of these zealots before they can't even push in, and Stalkers alike. Decent force fields go down here for Millenium. Does force EGDemuslim back momentarily, but EGDemuslim does lose a medevac in the exchange. No, here comes another medevac to try and replenish a lot of these units. Hell, some of them so very low. EGDemuslim trying to hold on here, but the blink back charge done. These charge lots now moving forward, and we see EGDemuslim immediately forced to try and retreat. Probably going to lose at least one of these medevacs. Now turns to try and hold off this invading force by Millenium, but I think Millenium might be just too far ahead, and EGDemuslim loses his entire force and is forced to GG out of the game, and Millenium will be victorious. So really well played game there by Millenium, really abusing the mobility early on in the game of going for those very, very fast blink stalkers here against EGDemuslim to really prevent him from getting anything done with this expansion at his natural. One particular moment before I go that I do actually want to back up to, I'm going to actually pause the game here, or at least put it on normal speed so it's slower. I want to back up to actually where Millenium attacked over here into EGDemuslim's natural, if I can remember exactly at what time point it was at. Taking a look here, guys, because I just want to look at that blink up play one more time, because that was just an absolute, here it was, right at about 8 minutes. So I'm going to back up to about that 8-minute mark. Here we are at the 7-minute mark, because this was just a brilliant play here by Millenium. Now, right now, we do see him poking up the ramp, and I want to just look at his vision, because you can see he only sees this single bunker at the front of EGDemuslim's base, which is the most important part of what he is looking at here. Sees just that one bunker. Now, one thing that's important about this play, because this play is really, I think, what gave Millenium the victory. I'm going to actually just put it on just Millenium's vision here. He moves up, and then right there, blinks over, which completely avoids that bunker with all the SCVs that were by it. Uses this sentry that only had 2 force fields available to block off these units from actually being able to get to these blink stalkers. Also has this entire ridge over here to blink it back to, should EGDemuslim have actually had enough forces to stop Millenium from actually continuing his push. Then there was that mistake there by EGDemuslim, not getting on the repair on that bunker fast enough. EGDemuslim may have had a little bit of an easier time holding this push had he not done that. But Millenium just using that blink so wisely there. And I just want to point out what a safe play that was by Millenium, and really the play that won him the game. Had he not even seen that bunker, or had that bunker been there or not, I think that was a smart play, because it avoids this forward bunker, avoids all those SCVs that were just biting at the bit to repair that bunker for EGDemuslim, force EGDemuslim to try and make a very fast decision to go and repair this other bunker, but it was already dead, and that allowed the Stalkers a lot of leeway and a safe retreat path. So it was just a brilliant play there by Millenium, really caught EGDemuslim off guard with it, and as a result of that, went on to win the game. So anyways, guys, for now, this is going to be Nersky saying peace easy. Thank you very much for tuning into my broadcast. Please leave me feedback on all of my games. Always trying to improve on my casting, no matter how far I get in the world of casting, whether it's always just at a hobby level, or if I were to make it bigger someday. I still want your feedback either way, because so long as I enjoy doing casting, I want to continue to improve at it. So please leave feedback. For now, though, guys, I'm going to be getting out of here. If you also want to follow me on my Twitter at VP, and I'll actually just type it here onto the video because I can do that. It's VP Nursky. You can follow me on Twitter. Go ahead and do that. That actually will update you to all the things that I am broadcasting on a live basis. Didn't want to forget about that. Forgot about that. Absent-minded sometimes. What are you going to do? It happens to the best of us. But I'm getting out of here, guys, now. See you later. Peace easy. Bye.